All right, so um, what we are going to do now is go ahead and uh, we'll call this input. We're going to make an array of characters so we have somewhere to start storing all of all of the letters that we type, right? So let's go ahead and say that this is 256 characters long, right? So that's pretty big. We probably won't have anyone typing 256 characters in one go, right? So we can go ahead and set it up to be that size. What we can do now is say that if we are in typing mode, we will start getting our input. So we'll do another loop right here where we're going to say while C, sorry, well, yeah, we can do it with C. Well, C does not equal \n. We are going to keep saying that C equals get char, right? Then what we will do is say that our input of something is going to equal C, right? So what we want to do is store an integer. We'll call this input index. We're going to start it out at 0, right? And then we're going to say every time we are going to set input of whatever input index is to C, and then we're going to increment it by 1, right? So you see I'm doing this shorthand right here. I could just say something like input index plus plus like that, so it's on 2 lines. So we say, first time through, input of 0 equals C, input index plus plus, input of 1 equals C, input index plus plus, etc. But we can also go ahead and just do it like that. So, which is, just kind of nice. It lets us write things more succinctly. Now that we have that, let's just go ahead and say that after we type that, we're going to do a printf, and we are going to say we're going to printf input. So this %s, what this stands for is string, and a string is just an array of characters, right? So it's like a string of letters, a collection of letters, right? So this %s is going to say, hey, I'm going to pass you a string of letters, an array of chars, and I want you to just go ahead and fill them out, print them all together, right? We could also write it like this. We would say, we'll do input index, right? Because that's going to be the maximum length of whatever we typed. And then we could just say printf %c input of I, right? In fact, we can do that first. And then at the end of it, I think I'll do a \n like that. So let's go ahead and say, I'm going to walk around. I'm going to do space. We're in typing mode. I'm going to say cat, hit enter. And you see we type. Where is it? Oh, I think it's right there. Let's see what's up with that. Oh yeah, duh. Because, well, I'll explain that in just a second. We can try something longer just to make sure that it works. So moving around, and I'm going to say the cat jumped over the fox, right? And we see we get the cat jumped over the fox. We're missing this T, and that's because we're already doing this C equals get char, which is kind of weird. What I want to do is say that we're only going to do that if we are inside of this this is typing thing, right? And then in here, we can say, well, actually, no, I think this is fine the way it is. You can change it if you prefer. What I'm going to do is say, just right off the bat, our input index is going to equal C. So you'll notice we already are doing this get char, right? So after we do a space and we go into typing mode, we are going, we're going to be drawing the board. We're going to come back up to the top, and we're in typing mode. We see that we're in typing mode, and we're just waiting for a character. So the issue was that we were waiting for this character. We're printing it, but then we're going down here into the while loop, and we're doing a get char again, right? So in fact, actually, what I can do is just do this, and that should fix it. So we're going to get the first character. We're going to go into the while loop. We're going to make sure it's not a new line. Then we are just going to go ahead and, set it up like that. Put it in our input like that. Do there. The cat jumped over the fox, right? What happened there? Let's try this again. Yeah, something different is going on here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and do a printf right here. So I'll say we are getting input. I'll just go ahead and compile this again. Go straight in. The cat jumped. Yeah, so we aren't ever going in to this right here, which is maybe a reason that I shouldn't have done it this way. Yeah, so I think what's happening, we can step through this. I was clearly overzealous trying to make the code elegant. So the issue is we hit our space and then new line. So and then we are in the typing mode, right? So we're going to go here. Going to consume all that. We're going to jump back up to the top. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely am not sure exactly what's going on. I'm going to do it this way. So we're going to go back to how it was. And then the cat jumped. Oops, did I forget to compile? I think maybe I did. Well, what is going on here? Oh, yeah, I see. So if we go back to exactly the way it was before, this should work. The cat jumped. Or am I just insane? Cat jumped. This is what we had before, isn't it? If we just go ahead and say just going to go ahead and say the character is. So we should definitely hit that, right? We're in typing mode. we're going to get a character, say the cat. Well, no, we aren't even falling through to here. So what's up with that? I can't help but feel like the changes that I'm typing into the code are not even working. Yeah, see that? Oh yeah, you see, like, we're in typing mode, but I'm still able to move around. So clearly something is broken. Okay, let's just say that we're never going to set it equal to false, right? Well, let's... We're already in typing mode, but we're still moving around. Am I just printing that incorrectly? Okay, what am I doing so foolishly? Okay, so if we just say right here, hey, so right off the bat, before you ever get input, we are in typing mode. We shouldn't be able to move, and we are not. And you see we're hitting this the characters S, etc. If I type the cat jumped like that, we do get the cat jumped. Okay, so clearly what's happening is that we were not setting that appropriately. I'm trying to think what I did. I must have typed something very inconsequential, thinking that that would not change that, but clearly it did. Let's just go ahead and say right up front, right here, player.isTyping equals false, right? So we're going to start out there. Okay, we are in the good old normal mode. I'm going to type space, like that. We can't move. The cat is jumping. Was I typing I instead of space the whole time? That may have been the problem. If you caught that that was the problem, and you've been bored this whole time because I'm foolish, I apologize. Yeah, it looks like that was not really much of an issue. Okay, well, that's embarrassing if that was the problem. I don't want to believe that it was, but maybe it was. So, all right, we can go ahead and now we'll go back to this, right? Meow will go back to this. So moving around, the cat jumped. Okay, cool. So now you see we are getting the full thing, and I can go ahead and explain why that is. So after we go into typing mode, we're going to do the C equals get char. We're going to get the first character. And then when we check to see, hey, are we in typing mode? And we are. We're going to check to see if that character is a space. And if it is, we're going to go ahead and go back to our normal mode. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and jump into this loop. We're going to make sure it's not a new line, right? And then we're going to say, all right, take that character that we already got and go ahead and just go ahead and put it into the input. Then get a new character until we hit a new line, right? And we're just going to keep doing that. And then finally, once we hit the new line, we aren't ever going to put that new line into our input, which is nice. You see, if we did it reversed like this, we would get the new line in, because we would say C equals get char, and it would be a new line. We would put that into the input. We would jump up to the top. We would say, hey, C is a new line, so go ahead and break. But we've already put it in the input. So there's kind of two problems with that, where we're missing it in the input. We're also missing the first letter because we went ahead and just got a new character before we put it in. So now to demonstrate that those are the same thing, I'll go ahead and do this. And we'll do space. We'll say the cat jumped so high, and we do that, right? I'll put a new line there. So you can see this printf is the same as doing this for loop over all the characters, right? So that is good to know. I can go ahead and get rid of that for loop. So we see that the for loop over the array and doing something on it, it works if we have integers, and it works if we have characters, right? It worked both ways, luckily for us. So we know that under the hood, this printf must be doing something where it's like looking at all of the characters that we have, and then, finding out where to stop, right? Because you see right here with input, we have 256 characters. And we know that the cat jumped so high is not 256 characters. So it has to know at some point where to stop printing, right? And, when we did our for loop, we had this input index, right? And so we knew where to stop because we knew how many characters we had gotten until we hit a new line. However, this printf we aren't giving it input index. It doesn't know how many characters were printed, and yet somehow it knows where to stop. So let's go ahead and see if we can maybe play around with this a little bit more and maybe get some intuition. So I'll go into typing mode. I'll say the cat jumped. I'll say the cat flew, right? Oh, this is interesting. The cat flewed, but I typed the cat flew. What's going on there? How about dog woof? Dog wooflewed? That's even weirder. What if I just type hi? Hig wooflewed. Okay. Something super weird's going on. Well, I can go ahead and tell you what is happening. The way printf knows to stop looking at things is it's going to stop as soon as it finds a 0. Well, when we go ahead and make our input at the beginning, and this isn't necessarily what's happening, but it's not necessarily what has to happen or always happens, but in our case, this is what's happening. It's going ahead and it's setting all of these things to 0 by default, which is very nice and very helpful. If it weren't doing that, something super bad could happen. And we will, in a few minutes, we'll look at how to prevent that from happening. But right now, it's just setting everything to 0 right off the bat. Okay, cool. However, once we set this to the cat jumped, you see that's what? That's 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's 14 characters, right? So the first 14 characters of this thing are now not 0, right? And then when we type the cat flew, well, we're only typing 12 characters. And so we're overwriting those characters in the array. We're saying, hey, take the first one and now set it to whatever we type, take the second character, etc. But we're stopping after 12 characters. So there are still 2 characters that have the same value in the array that they did previously, right? And we can see that that's why this is happening, where every time we type fewer characters, we aren't overwriting any of the later things. So those values are still not set to 0, which is causing an issue where, when printf starts getting at the characters, it's going to just keep going, right? So we can go ahead and see right here, we can say input index and then I++, and we'll do this, right? Printf, our new line. I'll go ahead and play around with this a bit more. So let's type a long sentence, right? We can say, oops, I typed a bunch of arrow keys. The cat really jumped high. Well, okay, now we have the cat really jumped. Oh, and we have this garbage at the end, so, because I typed the arrow keys, right? The cat really jumped so super high, it was crazy, right? And we still have this garbage at the end. The cat really jumped so high, it was crazy and not weird. Okay, and, we still have weird things at the end. So, okay. Clearly, something's going wrong here. We can go ahead and try with our for loop to look at this. The cat jumped. Oops, what did I do? Oh, yeah, I just kept printing C, and C is a new line, so it's going to keep going. So I want to go ahead and type input of I, right? Hopefully you caught that. If not, it's fine. The cat jumped. So I keep typing these backspaces, which is no good. The cat jumped high. Okay. Now the dog flew. And you see there, da-da, da-da-da, da-da, lol, like that. And, we're getting the right thing, right? So, okay. Well, this is good that we're getting the right thing. What we would like to do is figure out a way to do it with printf in this very nice terse way, where we're just saying, hey, here's a string, here's an array of characters, go ahead and print it, please, without getting all of the garbage at the end. So we can go ahead and look at that in the next video. Real quick, I hear my dog scratching at the door and my cat mewing at the other one, so I'm going to go and let them inside and outside respectively.